Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwichuk, and the purpose of today's intermittent reinforcement email message is to talk to you about coping with profound loss and failure. Inevitably in life, you will face profound loss and failure, regardless of how talented you are. You may lose a loved one. You may lose a coveted job. You may lose the Super Bowl. You may lose romantic love or fail in romantic love. And the REBT philosophy is to help you accept what you can't change. We call this the philosophically elegant solution. And what it enables you to do is to adapt to hardship and essentially roll with the punches. I like to say REBT is the cognitive behavior therapy to go to when your worst nightmare occurs. Other cognitive behavior therapies often assume that you are jumping to a conclusion or an inference, and that this inference may very well never come to pass. This approach has some merit, as people will occasionally overlook and not estimate accurately the probability of a loss or a failure. Unfortunately, this approach has profound limitations. Sooner or later, our worst nightmare occurs. As the old saying goes, you can run, but you can't hide. And sooner or later, things will happen that you have to acknowledge are very bad. What REBT does is encourage you to adopt what's called the philosophically elegant solution. This is where you relinquish your rigid and extreme ideas, attitudes that are idealistic and in many ways immature. REBT challenges you to adopt flexible and non-extreme attitudes that allow you to adapt to even the worst case scenarios that people can face. This is why I've stayed with REBT for 32 years, because I recognize that sooner or later, loss, failure will occur, and that it's better to prepare people rather than encourage them to examine the probabilities that things won't happen. If you prepare for the worst, you still can cope if they happen, whereas if you are hoping that the worst case scenario won't happen, it may very well be the case that if it were to come to pass, you would have great difficulty accepting it. So REBT pushes what's called the philosophically elegant solution, and this is unique to REBT. Many other therapies tend to chase inferences or help you to examine the validity of an inference and to look at data you may be overlooking. This is the more traditional approach in cognitive behavior therapy. Now, there are emerging third wave psychotherapies that are following REBT's path in helping you prepare for the worst case scenario and being strong in the face of it. We're the trailblazers in this regard, and so I have written an email showing you some of the rigid and extreme attitudes that would make you experience dysfunctional negative emotions if you were to face a great loss or a failure. REBT wants you to grow and learn from experience, and the flexible and non-extreme attitudes that we encourage you to adopt will help you when your worst case scenario happens. I'd like to encourage you to read today's email and ask yourself, how could this stance towards life help prepare me for what lies ahead? I always say luck favors the prepared mind, and therefore it would be in your best interest to prepare for the worst case scenario so that you can face it head on. I would also like to invite you to attend my Saturday morning demonstrations on Zoom. During these demonstrations, I take a volunteer from somewhere in the world and I show them how to adapt, cope with realistic ideas, and apply the REBT philosophy to a wide range of problems. We've done this now for over 130 weeks, well over 130 weeks. And we continue to see the way REBT can apply to a broad range of problems. It's a great educational opportunity, and it starts at 9 a.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. in the UK. It's 4 p.m. in Bucharest, 7:30 in India, and it's free to attend. So you can write to me at rebtdoctor@gmail.com to get the link, and I hope to see you on Saturday.